Hello, my friends. Today we're working on Unit 4, Lesson 6, page 175, and it looks just like this. So today, when you look at page 175, you're going to see 12 equations on there. And before anybody gets worried about anything, I just wanted to make sure that you know that we are only going to do 6. I'm going to do the first 2 of them with you together, and then you're going to choose the other 4 that you want to do. They can be any 4 that you want to do on the page, but when you're finished, you will need to take a picture of the page that has your 4 equations on it. Now, if you're like me, which I think some of you definitely are, this is not enough room for me to solve 6 equations. And so I actually have notebook paper because I ran out of pages in my spiral, which is kind of crazy to me, but it is what it is. And I have to be honest too, since we are remote teaching, I've decided that I'm going to focus 100% on ungroup first strategy, since that's the one that I know most of your parents use best, and that's the one that will be the easiest for you to get help with. We're going to stick with ungroup first. I know last week we practiced the show all totals method of subtraction, but we're going to stick with the ungroup first and drawing a proof drawing. So both of those things will need to happen in both of these. And so we're going to be looking at the 10s and the 1s a lot today while we break these numbers apart and figure out how to subtract. And like I said, we're going to do all of our ungrouping first. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to write number 1, and then I'm going to write 75 minus 47. So if you are doing this on your own page, then make sure you have that written down. Remember how last week we talked about making sure your pictures were big enough? When we do pictures on here, they are really tiny, and that's one of the reasons that I kind of encourage you to work in your spiral. If we were in class, I would be requiring you to work in your spiral, but since you're at home, you have to make your own decisions, and I understand that you may need to work on the page of your math book instead. So, but I think the best way to do this is to work on in a spiral or on just notebook paper where you can write the numbers nice and big. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do before I do anything else is I'm going to go ahead and draw 75. So 7 10s and 5 1s. So I'm trying to give more wait time so that you guys can keep up with me as I'm doing this, because I do expect you to draw this and write this with me and solve with me as we go. Just like last week, I would like for you to unmute yourself when I ask a question and just answer it. And I would love to hear lots of voices, not just the same 1 or 2. So this is just kind of practice and repetition as we figure out the rhythms and the patterns that are in this subtraction. So go ahead and unmute yourself when I ask you to, when I ask a question, and say the answers that we need to do. So the first question I'm going to ask is, we're going to look right here at this 5 minus 7. And I'll just use this little piece of cardboard I have right here. So 5 minus 7. If we have 5, can we take 7 out of 5? So we can look right here and we can ask ourselves, can we take 7 out of that? So can we subtract this? No, we cannot. If we only have 5, we can't give 7 away to people. So we're going to have to do some ungrouping. When we're working over here, we are going to go ahead and X out one of our 10s and make 10 new 1s. So we just broke that 10 up into pieces. Now we can take 7 out of that, can't we? All right, but when we're over here, we're gonna go next door to that 7, and we are going to take one of the 10s from here. Give me one of your 10s. Okay. Oh, you have one of my 10s. Now I only have 6 10s, and I'm fine with that. So we're going to X out that 7, put the 6 up there. And do you see we have 6 10s right over there, just like here. Now we're going to take that 10, because this is 5 1s, and we're going to take that 10 and add it to it. So 10 plus 5 equals what? Yes, we're going to X that out because 10 plus 5 equals 15. And we had 15 1s over here, didn't we? Now that we have our 10 plus 5, 15 minus 7, can we subtract 7 from 15? I agree, because we have done it right here. So go ahead and figure out what's 15 minus 7, and then go ahead and say that answer when you have it. All right, yeah, it is 8. And if you were unsure, we could have just gone right over here and counted up those 8. You should have 8 here and 8 here. It should be the same answer. Now we can do 6 minus 4. And we can even just do that on our fingers. 6 minus 4 equals, yes, because we have 6 10s minus 4 10s, we have 2 10s. And let's go ahead and subtract our 4 10s over here. And look at that. There are 2 10s there, 8 1s. 28 equals 28. Does that make sense to you? Does anybody have any questions? All right, we're going to go ahead and do 54 minus 18. So let's prepare that equation right here. 54 minus 18. What's the first thing I'm going to do? Yep, I'm going to draw a picture of 54. 5 10s, 4 1s. The next thing I'm going to do is what? Yeah, I'm going to look at the 1s and see if I can subtract that. If I have 4 apples, can I give an apple to each person if there are 8 people? No, I can't do that. I'd have to cut the apples up, but I'm not ready to do that right now. Right now, I need to give everybody a whole apple, so to speak. So instead of, pardon me, I just got a little distracted. So right now, instead of trying to take 8 out of 4, we need to do what? Exactly. We're going to break apart a 10 here. All right. And then after we have that drawn, we also need to break apart a 10 over here. How do we do that over here in the equation? Over here, up here, I went over to the 7 and said, give me one of your 10s. And the 7 went, okay, you can have one of my 10s. I'll have 6 now. So what will we do right here? Yeah, we're going to go over to the 5 and we're going to say, give me one of your 10s. And the 5 says, okay, you can have one of my 10s. And now I'm a 4. And we're going to take that 10, and what will we do with it? Yes, we're going to add that 10 to 4, so it's 10 plus 4 equals what? 14. Nice work, friends. So we're going to X out that 4 and put 14 up there. Now we have the easy job of doing our subtraction. So we can go over here or we can go over here, whichever one you want to do. I'm going to start over here because it kind of is easier for me to X out the 8 of them. 1, 2. I X'd out 8 of those, and I'm going to X out 1 of those. So over here, 10, 20, 30, 45, 36. My answer is 36 over here. Now when I do my subtraction here, it should be the same, shouldn't it? Go ahead and type your answer into the chat when you get it. And voila, they look the same. All right, so now your job will be to do 4 of these on your own. You can pick whatever 4 you want. All right, friends? So we will be working together in class on this right now. So if you get stuck, ask questions. I'll zoom on this a little bit in case you've lost your math page. And you can look at the math page and you can still do your work. See you next time.